All right, today we are going deep. I mean, really deep. We're talking 85 meters straight down to explore one of the greatest architectural mysteries of all time, the underground city of Derinkuyu.
So, let me ask you something. What if you were doing a little home renovation, maybe knocking down a wall in your basement, and behind that wall, you didn't find pipes or dirt. You found a tunnel, and that tunnel opened up into a hallway, which led to a room, which led to, well, an entire city, a lost world, right there in your house.
Believe it or not, that's a true story. Back in 1963, in Cappadocia, Turkey, a guy did exactly that. And he didn't just find some dusty old cellar. Oh no, he stumbled upon a massive 18-level underground metropolis built to house 20,000 people. I mean, think about that. A city with everything you could possibly need hidden beneath the earth. Okay, so the first question that pops into your head has to be how? How on earth did an ancient civilization with no modern tech pull off something like this? Well, the secret, it's in the rock itself. It was basically a happy geological accident.
The whole area is made of this incredible material called tuff. Now, tuff is a type of volcanic rock, basically compressed ash, and it has this one-of-a-kind property that is, well, it's pretty much a dream come true for an ancient builder.
And here's the magic trick. This tough rock has this amazing paradox. When you first dig into it, it's super soft. You can carve it pretty easily with simple, old-school iron tools. But, and this is the genius part, as soon as it's exposed to the air, a chemical reaction kicks in and it hardens up like concrete. So you could literally carve out a city that would then turn to stone and last for thousands of years. Incredible, right?
Now, this place wasn't built in a day. The story starts way back, maybe around the 8th century BC, with a group called the Phrygians. We even have a Greek historian, Xenophon, writing about people living underground in this area way back in 401 BC. But the city really became what it is today during the Byzantine era. That's when Christians, trying to escape constant raids, dug deeper and deeper, expanding it all the way down to 18 levels.
So carving the city out is one thing, but actually living down there with thousands of other people, that's a whole other ballgame. And it required some engineering that is frankly just mind-blowing. This wasn't a simple hideout. It was a perfectly engineered machine designed for one thing: survival. Get a load of this number, over 15,000. That is not a typo. That's how many ventilation shafts they found so far. You heard me, 15,000. Fresh air wasn't a luxury. It was the absolute lifeblood of this underground world.
So how'd they do it? How do you get fresh air to 20,000 people living 85 meters underground? The answer is pure physics, and it's brilliant. It's called the chimney effect. See, all the warm, stale air from people breathing and oil lamps burning would rise up this huge 55-meter central shaft. As it rose, it created a vacuum, which then literally sucked cool, fresh air down from the surface through all those thousands of smaller vents. No moving parts, no electricity, just pure, simple genius.
And it wasn't just about the air either. Their entire life support system was next level. For water, they didn't rely on the surface. They dug wells straight down to clean, underground aquifers. And here's the clever part. You could only get to that water from the lowest levels of the city. So if an enemy came along and tried to poison the wells up top, it wouldn't matter. The city's water was safe. Add to that massive rooms for food storage, stables for their animals. They even had a winery down there. This place was built to outlast any threat.
All right, let's talk defense. Because how do you protect a city with so many entrances? Well, you start with something that weighs 500 kilograms. Yeah, that's over 1,000 pounds. And that was just their front door. This is where the design gets really, really smart. The doors were these giant circular millstones that rolled in a groove. From the inside, a few people could roll one into place pretty easily, sealing off a passageway. But from the outside, it was basically impossible to move. There was nothing to grab onto, no handles, just solid, heavy stone. It was the perfect one-way security system.
But here's what's so amazing. The people of Derinkuyu weren't just surviving down there. They were living. They were building a community. Beyond all the incredible engineering, they carved out a space for faith, for education, for a soul deep in the dark.
Yeah, this was so much more than a bunker. Just on the second level, you find this huge missionary school, complete with a beautiful barrel-vaulted ceiling. And if you go way down to the 7th level, there's a massive church carved in the shape of a cross. You have to imagine, this was the spiritual and psychological heart of the whole city. It was their place of hope when everything on the surface was falling apart. Now, while the mainstream story points to the Phrygians and the Byzantines, there is another, much wilder theory out there. Some people believe the city is way, way older. This idea connects Derinkuyu to an ancient Zoroastrian legend about a place called the Vara, a massive underground shelter built to help humanity survive a fatal winter, maybe even a global disaster like the Younger Dryas event almost 13,000 years ago. So you've got two completely different origin stories for this one incredible place.
So when all is said and done, what do we make of Derinkuyu? What's its legacy? Well, to really get it, I think we have to completely change how we think about what a city is, and maybe even what human greatness looks like. See, Derinkuyu isn't a tomb. It's not a cave complex. The best way to think about it is as an inverse skyscraper. We're so used to measuring greatness by how high we can build, stacking floors one on top of the other to reach for the sky. Derinkuyu shows us that ingenuity, resilience, and the sheer will to survive can also be measured by how deep you're willing to go.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of chilling thought to chew on. When you think about the incredible foresight and planning it took to build a city like this, a city designed to protect its people from any threat the outside world could throw at it, you have to wonder, are we just looking at a relic from a long dead past? Or are we maybe looking at a blueprint for our own very uncertain future?